Don't start shit if you ain't ready to get hit.
Will allow me to drop some knowledge.
I have to disagree. I saw that Sailor Moon outfit.
Nobody could see it.
Oh, okay, cool.
How you doing?
Busy at work still. Sorry
So
for that though.
that's okay.
My apologies. No, like I was running like ups and downs. I was doing different things. I had to take care of the kids and family and work. I'm still here till 8, so I'm good though. How about you? You good?
I'm good. The same. I'm so fucking exhausted. Gonna knock this out quick though. Wait.
All right, that's cool.
What is good, my BMF army? It's your favorite Jedi, the BMF goddess. I hope that you all are enjoying your summer so far, having fun, BMFing. You already know. Today, I'm interviewing Roman Reigns cosplayer. Um, we will get into details and all the cool things that he does, and you know, on the scene and when he's on the move. What's good?
What's going on? Tribal chief in that tribal chief in the house. OTC.
I had to represent.
That's right. That's right. Bloodline out all day. Gotta have the merch on deck.
Okay, so I want to start by asking, where were you born and raised, and how did pro wrestling become a part of your life in the first place?
So I was born and raised in Harlem, 155th and 8th. You know, the slums, the ghetto, the hood. I came from the trenches. Wrestling was like my escape growing up. I was always a fighter. I fought everything, that I had to get in life. So I used to watch wrestlers like guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker. During that attitude era, really just brought about a whole escape for me as a child. Because to see those guys in the ring, week in, week out, it was just a means for me to just have something besides that the surrounding neighborhood I was growing up in. Gunshots, crime scenes. Even as a child, I was picked on at one point. So I used to do wrestling moves to them. I
I
was the
like
final
that.
boss. I was doing like a stone cold stunner with a rock bottom and a people's elbow at like lunchtime.
It came in handy in more ways than one.
Exactly. Yep. I agree.
um, I just lost myself. Who was your? I mean, before the tribal chief came along, because he's he's not new, but he's fairly young. Who was your like earliest inspiration before Roman?
So I had a lot. I used to like Shawn Michaels a lot.
My
The
man.
long hair. Yeah, it was just like the long hair, just walking out there with that whole bravado. That was like literally me when I was that age. And as a young man growing up, I started to gravitate more towards like Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H. I thought Triple H was like the best heel the industry ever had at that time. You marry the boss daughter. You
Indeed.
become champion. You find ways to continue to become champion. Even when he came back from that quad injury he had, that was very inspiring for me to see that. And as a young man too, just to be able to see someone coming back from that devastating of an injury and still perform at top level says a lot.
Right. So when did you start cosplaying Roman? How did that come about?
Okay,
Uh,
so when he was part of the Shield, my oldest son at the time was into wrestling at one point, and he was like, "Dad, there's a guy who looks like you." I'm like, "Who looks like your father? Are you kidding me? Like who?" So I tuned in because I wasn't watching wrestling for a while. I felt like the storylines was weak. A lot of things that CM Punk was saying, which is like actual facts. Top stars is always going to stay at the top. It's a glass ceiling. The storylines is kind of getting dry, weak. Like I actually stopped watching after Evolution, after Randy got screwed, and I was like, I'm not really feeling no more. And then
Evolution
he
was
brought me
the
back
shit.
into it. Yeah, he brought me back into it. He got me back part of it, and then I just started to go to events with different friends of mine. It was like, yo, you should just cosplay as like Roman Reigns Shield. I was like, all right, why not? For shits and giggles, why not? And that was it. After that, then the pandemic hit, and then I kind of took a hiatus from wrestling again. But then my brother, he's like a brother to me. He was like, yo, you should watch it. The content's getting better. The storylines are getting better. And it was pandemic. I was like, oh, I'd look into it. Tell me about the whole bloodline angle. I was like, all right, that sounds dope. They finally did it. So I started watching again, and I was like, yo, why not bring it back out? Cosplay now as a tribal chief.
During the pandemic, the Bloodline was literally the storyline that kept them on the hook because I disagree. I think during the pandemic, that Vince wasn't doing such great things, but the Bloodline was the best thing going.
I agree. I agree.
It was
And also, and it's
kind of
also
sad for them.
I like the fact that it brought out a different side of Roman Reigns as a performer. Because I felt like without having that crowd there, he was able to get better with his mic skills. He was able to like really like fine tune his craft in that. He had the look, he had the physique, he had the wrestling skills. As a bruiser, as a big man. And then everybody was talking about his mic, suffering succotash. Like, come on, there's a lot of things that he was forced to say, rightfully so. Look at The Rock. The Rock came out. Not really a lot of people like The Rock, Intercontinental Champion. He got everything handed to him very quickly, very quickly. And then when Rock said, give me 5 minutes on the mic, let me cook, let me cook. Now look at him.
Yeah,
So I mean, the pandemic was definitely something different for the bloodline, and just for Roman as a talent. I just got to see a different side of that wrestler that's been there for quite some while. And
and
got booed as a heel, as a face. He was getting booed. Like came back from leukemia, got booed off of that. It was just crazy. It's wild. But the bloodline angle was definitely something that was great.
it's something I love to blame on Vince because I felt like for many years, I felt like he was trying to, shove him down our throats as a face, and it just wasn't working. But I definitely gave Vince. I'm gonna kill the dog. Hey, um, him stepping into that role definitely changed a lot because I gained the respect for him. Prior to that, I was not a fan. I am not one of the girls that be like, "Oh my God, he's cute, so I like him." You actually gotta be good at what you do. You feel me?
I agree on that. Absolutely. I mean, if you can't gravitate the audience to make them feel something while you in that ring, then it's like, yeah, you can, go as a wrestler. You got talent there. That's great. But half the battle is actually entertaining the crowd. When Roman was a heel and I first started to come out cosplaying again, you don't know the amount of heat I used to get. I used to get crazy heat, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I embodied that. I was like, yeah, that's right. If you're not booing me, then I'm not doing a good job as a cosplayer. I'm not representing the person. I'm not doing a good job. If you feel some type of way, and I made you feel that type of hate towards me, wonderful. Fucking A, fantastic. Why not? Keep the jokes coming in. Go ahead. I'll snap back. I got receipts.
For for the people that don't really understand, what would you how would you describe the distinction between an impersonator versus a cosplayer?
You said, how do you distinguish the difference between what? I'm sorry.
An
Like,
impersonator and a cosplayer.
oh, well, a cosplayer, all right, so, there's different impersonations people do. They do all the time. Michael Jackson, they back to Elvis. Like, there's people in, like, Las Vegas who does, like, Elvis impersonations and stuff like that. The cosplaying aspect of it is, in my opinion, deciphers just like the actual look of it. Like maybe the lore, maybe the aura. To a degree. Like I was a Batman cosplayer at one point, right? My kids love Batman. Got a replica suit, everything. I'm a
Oh,
big Batman fan myself. So just to have that demeanor. But a lot of people nowadays, as long as they wear like a suit or costume that kind of looks like it, hey, kudos, good for you. That's great. But impersonation is different. Like you emulate that, you embody that when you go out there. And there's only one Roman Reigns. There's only one Joe, and I said that plenty of times. I'm not trying to be the man. I'm not obsessed with him. I don't have like freaking posters of him in my apartment and like praying to, oh my God, the tribal chief. We must pray for you every day with candles lit. I'm not doing no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna represent the guy to the best of my ability. Because I kind of am that in a way. Like I'm tribal chief for my own family. I hold shit down. I got 5 kids. I take care of all my 5 kids.
I think Joe has 4 or 5 himself.
Yeah, they said 6, but he put that
Oh, it's
to a
more.
rest. Yeah, they said 6. They said 6. That was a rumor because Jay asked him. He was like, somebody was saying he was trying to compete with Jacob Fatu. He said, nah, one and done. That's it. He's not gonna have any more kids. He got his 5, and that's that. And I feel the same. Shit, kids is like that's another
Yeah.
story though.
uh, have you? I know you've met him before. Have you gotten to meet him as while in the cosplay?
Not yet.
No,
Not
not
yet.
yet.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Have you tried to? Like,
I
do you
mean, I
plan
guess
on
because
trying to?
I mean, maybe one day, it'd be dope, to see that. But I know because like his schedule and maybe because of health concerns, he probably doesn't
Yeah,
interact with the
he
crowd like he
doesn't
used
do
to.
a lot of the
Yeah,
events like the
meet
other
and
one.
greets and stuff like that. Right, right. But yeah, that'd be dope one day.
That'd be
Just
a
say,
dope
hey,
pick,
look, travel chick. Right,
right?
that would be. That would make some fire content. Right, put a lot of haters at ease. They'd be like, oh shit, you really
I
didn't
vote
meet him.
for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I hope so one day. It'll be dope. But I met a lot of his family members. I met Rakishi. I met The Rock when I was younger. Like he was at like this is how far back I met The Rock. This is when TRL was out.
Yeah.
MTV had TRL. And I met The Rock. He was super dope. Signed my book at the time. Mad cool. I met Rakishi. I met Jay. I met Zilla. I met quite a few of them already.
Um, you remember WWE in New York? I was there for the short time I was there. Yeah, I met a lot of them there.
Yeah, I wish this the Hard Rock now. I wish they bring that back.
What are some of the What are some of the things that you do while you cosplay? What kind of events do you go to? What adventures have it taken you on?
It varies. It's like it's different for me because like cosplaying itself in general is just like for like a comic convention, right? You see like a whole lot of skinny dressed Catwomans and a whole lot of muscular like Supermans or whatever, right? And that's kind of where it just stays at. With me, it's like I go to watch parties. Me and another group called Rat Wrestling, we host watch parties. There could be a convention, a wrestling convention. I go to HOG events from time to time. I'm doing some of the indies. I actually have a wrestling match coming up in September too.
Mm.
That's on the way. That's a spoiler. It's
You
not a prediction. That's a spoiler right there.
really? That's
That's a
awesome.
spoiler.
Have you been
You guys
training?
heard it here first. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely been training. The vape is my vice right now. That's like the monkey on my back I got to get rid of. But besides that, yeah, I'm definitely training for it. I got about a month left, so Yep,
Yeah,
September on the way.
that'll be fire. It would be dope if you was like wrestling another cosplayer, like Dashin, no? Dashin D.
That who?
Dashin D. He's an indie wrestler, and he did a matchup. His whole thing is Prince, and he did a matchup with Santana Jackson, the guy that does
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I
That was
seen. I think I was there for that. I was there for that night when he did that. That was pretty dope to see. Get in the ring like that, entertain the crowd. Something different. After normal things. I mean, if you think back in the day, they was doing that a while ago. They had like a midget Booker T come out. They had Gilbert.
yeah,
Like a lot of them, but they always emulated that wrestler like as like a mockery. It was more like a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I had that whole mentality of the tribal chief, I embody it for me because that is partially who I am. Like
yeah.
I'm a no sense type of guy. I don't tolerate nonsense. I don't do none of that shit. I get what I want by any means necessary. I'm gonna get what I want. That's just who I am. So I'm not gonna see myself in the ring as like a Gilbert and like yeah, I'll just do something silly like instead of doing a one up like poke my nose or something like no dumb shit like that. Not here.
Right.
Definitely
That's
not here.
funny.
Mm-mm.
I'm not a fan of that corny shit either. How do you deal with, I mean, anybody that does something different or good, there's going to be a pack of haters behind you. You know, how do you deal with that negative energy, and what advice would you give to other people who want to cosplay as well?
What was the beginning of that question? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
And everybody that does something different, or has some type of hater. How do you deal with any negative energy? And what advice could you
I
give
mean, all
to?
right, so in the beginning, right, it was more so like mm, like I hear you. I see the comments, I hear you. That's cute. That's cute. Then I started, going to actual functions and seeing people, behind the internet, like in real life now. And then have those comments to say, and it's all right. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. It's fine. Me personally, it's not going to stop the train. Either you on board or you just wait on the platform, and that's fine too. Wait on the fucking platform. I don't give a shit. This train is still moving. People have been supporting me from day one, and people I met along this journey. Like I met so many amazing people like yourself, RX Superstar. I met a lot of Machoverse, Rad Wrestling. I met a lot of amazing people who supported me throughout this whole time, and that always compensates. That always trumps all that hate, all that negative. At the end of the day, like I said, I could be a face, I could be a heel, it doesn't matter. Like I see the support that I get, and I also see when I'm out there doing this, like little kids come up to me, being a father myself, seeing little kids say, "Oh, tribal chief," want to take pictures and stuff. I even had a grown man at a watch party told me one time he was kind of timid and he suffered from like severe anxiety. That he didn't even feel like it was cool for him to come outside. Now he wants to cosplay as John Cena.
Aw, that's what's up.
Like this man was literally in tears, and we just hugged it out. I was like, "Bro, listen, do what you feel is right, man. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody, why not? I'm
Right.
having a blast doing this shit.
We should be supporting each other. We may not
That,
all do
that,
the exact same thing, but we're all in the same, subcategory.
that comes to the territory. You know that. You're gonna get a lot of haters. That comes with the territory. It's fine. It's cool.
I love that.
Sometimes when I'm bored, sometimes. All right, let me reply back. Let me have some real quick, just for the hell
some
of it. All right, now I'm done being bored.
some of these motherfuckers be deserving that shit though.
I'm doing too fucking much. Most of them probably, miserable in life. They probably, live in a basement somewhere. All they have is the internet. They don't really have any means of like what the hell the real world is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could cosplay, whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm a grown ass man with responsibilities. I know my real world. Outside of my real world, me cosplaying, me doing this outside of my job, everything else is entitled to that, I still know who I am as a person. That
Yeah.
doesn't change anything, and sometimes people can look at themselves in the mirror. I can't.
Right.
And
So
sometimes
you
when
feel
they see that, yeah, like it's unfortunate because it's like those type of people have low self esteem. So that's when misery kicks that in. Like if you're miserable, like I'll pray for you. Not that whatever. Cool. It is what it is. It's like I said, it's not going to stop the train from being stationary. You in, you out.
what are some ambitions you have for your cosplay?
Well, for the moment, it's just just having a good time, going to different events. Maybe one day I might be in the scenes of things. Maybe WWE. You know, have like some meet and greets with different wrestlers, different talent. Maybe even pursue my wrestling career because at one point I was wrestling at one point. That was like way before like social media. People was like, actually things are starting to go viral. And then the UFC training. Who knows where it takes me. But right now it's just having fun, going to events, hanging out with my boys, you know, just enjoying the atmosphere. Being back in the atmosphere again. That's
So
that's more
even
than rewarding enough for me.
like understood. Mhm. If you are your kids into it? Are they into wrestling as well?
So the boys, the younger ones are. My oldest son, he gets into it from time to time. Like when he comes over, he might, watch it with me. He'll get interested in, the angles and it's like, oh, what's going on now? But it's mostly my younger boys. Now my youngest boys are starting to get into it. So I'm waiting for them to actually to buy some like Mattel toys or like some merch or whatever. Get a makeshift ring in the crib, start showing them how to wrestle and stuff. So for the most part, it's the younger ones is into it now, which
That's
is good.
good.
Right.
What is your favorite memory of your journey so far?
That's a good one. I want to say there's so many of them. I can't even say like what's the top one. I want to say it's a mix between being in Philly for the first time. I was actually like before I even became like a like just doing it for shits and giggles. I didn't have no social media on it. I didn't have no Instagram, no TikTok, none of that. And then we was at a rock panel, and my best friend, he's like a brother to me. His name is Aaron. He was like, "Yo, we should start doing this like for real. Like start making a separate page, start doing this." So that was a good memory because it also like kind of segue out to where we at now. And the deep conversation I had with Kurt Angle, I was at the big event, and I ran into Kurt Angle, and at one point, based off of Kurt Angle, what he been doing in life, I could relate to that. And just having that type of interaction with him, just to finally let him know, like, yeah, at the end of the day, what we see on TV is what we see on TV, right? You can be like this so complete person on TV, even on social media, it could be everything, it could be epic. But when you strip down all those layers, you have the equivalent of a human. We all human at the end of the day. And just having that type of conversation with Karango, because I used to watch his documentary, and I had a good conversation with Randy Orton for the Snag Fest that was just recently a few months ago. And yeah, like those guys, watching the documentaries, they're not far from us. We still human. So those are like one of the two. Yeah, I want to say those are the most fondest memories I have throughout all this right now.
Randy's one of my favorite wrestlers. He's dope, man.
Yeah, Randy is definitely yeah. Randy's Randy, and that's why I like him.
And he's
I think the
funny.
most the funniest story is when I don't know if you ever heard the one that Cody was talking about, where he went to the bathroom and ripped the urinal off the wall, and the next day it was like he was like somebody ripped the urinal off the urinal off the wall. He was like, oh, who did it? Whoever did it, I'll make sure I take care of that. But it was him. It was Randy Orton. Randy Orton did some like off the wall shit. But I
That was
respect that
on
man.
his that was on his podcast. And he said that.
I don't know exactly if it was on his podcast, but it was just like an interview he was having. I don't think it was because I think that came out before his podcast. But that was like that is Randy. You can't
Yeah,
even deny hearing that. You hear that story, you're like, all right, that's Randy. You know
Yeah,
that's random.
totally.
Right, without a doubt.
How many events would you say that you go to yearly? A lot,
A lot,
maybe
a lot. I
several
try.
months.
I want to say it depends on like the month itself. You know, like this month, I didn't really do much. This month, I just did like a whole lot of content. But next month, you know, summer stuff, 2 nights,
Busy.
busy. That weekend, busy, busy. So I want to say in a month, it could vary from like maybe once, twice here and there to like out of nowhere, like 4 or 5. And that could be like in the span of a weekend. That could be in the span of a day. One time I went to one watch party to show love. Then I went to another watch party to show love. And now, I'm doing my own thing when it comes to that. And just, I guess, just diving into different aspects of what this can bring about. I mean, the word cosplay is a cosplaying thing, right? But it brought me to different, and so many different entities that is like, wow, it's mind blowing that, you could be a cosplayer, but then it can lead to this now, it can lead to that. Like right
Yeah,
now, we're having this interview, it led to that. So I don't know a lot of cosplayers get interviewed a lot, but I didn't even know. Like I was just like, I'm just
yeah.
cosplaying as Roman Reigns.
I've been looking. I'm still looking for more. Like totally into it. Um, how are you affiliated with the Subway Mania crew?
Well, I mean, we see each other in passing, different events. Everybody kind of just sees each other. I haven't had to reach out from them. So I mean, listen, what they do is what they do. They do great stuff. I like what they do. They do great content. Just recently had the Hardy Boys. They had, Mike showed up. That was dope. That was dope. So maybe one day, they reach out to me. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely love to partake in that. So I haven't had anything as of yet, but when that time comes, it shows up. If not, then hey,
Are
Tribal Chief
those
can always do
guys?
what he gotta do.
Are they actually wrestlers or will they just cosplay as well?
Well, some of them I've seen, I actually like know them. So some of them are talent. But I think now he's really deep diving into getting talent instead of just having like someone who's like a cosplayer just for like liability issues. I know in the beginning, I think it was just more so like just a cosplayer, But I guess now that's what they're doing with talent. Probably getting some guys from HOG maybe. Like there's a guy, I forgot his name at the moment, but he does a great Kevin Owens. Like I want to like do content with that guy. Like, he does a amazing, looks just like him. I want to do that whole scene that Randy had Kevin Owens out there in the back, and he was shooting his shit towards him. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I guess it's talent now they have.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite ones to be a part of?
What's one of the favorites? What? Sorry,
Part of.
wrestling events to be a part of. That's another tough one. I want to say HOG, not for nothing. I mean, like the cons are good. The meet and greets is great. To see the talent, but just the atmosphere, the vibes you get from HOG. It's like
It was.
when you hear that one fall, like that shit is yo. I seen Amazing Red fucking fly out the ring into the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys at HOG, man, like they bring it. They bring it. They bring it. Watch parties is pretty good too. Like more for like intimate setting. Having to see people that I haven't seen in years. But I used to do this, like I said before the pandemic,
Right.
and we used to go to Legends Bar in New York, and then now just been going to different bars. Watching PLEs and stuff like that, and those. So in that way, in that perspective, yes, it does have like a different aspect to it. It holds a different weight. You know.
Right.
Then, but like I said, HOG events is like by far top notch. Best memories I ever had with my crew, my tribe, HOG, hands down.
And what's the next event you're gonna be at?
What's the next what?
Event you're going to.
So Me and my wise man was working on the itinerary for that. The next one is going to be, I think, WrestleCon. We might do SmackDown. Trying to get into SummerSlam. Checking out the tickets. It's kind of pricey right now.
Yeah,
Um,
banana.
yeah. They have like a after hours going on. It's just so much to do that weekend. I'm just gonna be like legit all over the place. Like I don't really
So
know.
you have somebody that helps you out. That's dope. Your wife, man.
Yeah, that's like yeah. He's been my brother for like 11 years already. He's always been there in my side. Like, I can't even that. This is like my little brother. Like he literally is my little brother without being blood related. That's my wise man. We always strategize everything. We always trying to organize the next event. When I went to the HOG event that day, we literally came out for Brooklyn Comic Con.
Oh shit, yeah.
So we was like running around the whole day. We went to Brooklyn Comic Con. We actually went to like the afters real quick.
Yeah.
Met up with the producer for New Day's new music right now.
Mhm.
That was dope. DJ hit my music, did the entrance and everything. Dope vibe. I was like, yo, let's hop in the cab. Let's hit up HOG. Puerto Rican weekend. Why not? I was out
It was dope.
celebrating. Yeah, it was fun. That was fun. That was fun.
Well, I don't have any more questions. I want to thank you, for making time for me. I know your schedule's super busy, but I just think that um, I wanted to bring a new audience to you and, you know, give others inspiration to do what they want to do as well. I
I
think,
really appreciate it a lot. Thank you. I know,
I think it
my.
takes guts to do what you do.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
I think it takes guts to do what you do, and you fucking kayfabe it the fuck up. So I respect
Thank you. Thank you so
that.
much. I really appreciate you reaching out, and I really appreciate you allow me to be on this platform and
you
just your
know,
support.
if you do get back into the swing of wrestling, or you're gonna keep up the way you are, or you plan to change.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna definitely keep up with the cosplay, but it's like this aspect of me cosplaying now is in ring. So
Yeah.
I think that's the side that a lot of people need to see now is the in ring side, like just cosplaying. It's just not. I do have like ring training, so it's not like
Right. Mm, no, definitely. That's like you there? Okay. I don't know if it's YouTube. Okay.
okay, all right. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I really, like I said, I really do appreciate you taking this time out, and asking these questions and allowing your viewers, have their view of what I do and just giving them that insight in a different way of me. You just see the guy who's, doing a better, very stoic, you know,
No
tribal
doubt.
chief, but definitely appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
No doubt. I look forward to all the cool things you're gonna do in the future, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. You
Follow,
too.
follow Roman Reigns cosplayer on Instagram, people,
Be part of
and
the tribe.
subscribe to
Even if
Skip
you're a
and
hater,
Matt.
even if you're a hater, I know you guys are out there. I know I see the comments. Don't think the tribal chief don't see that. OTC sees everything. But just know one thing. When the tribal chief sees that and sees you in person, I need those comments to be live. Be active. Because we the ones. And like my man
Definitely.
Uzi says, you could
Good
be
night, guys.
used to. Good night.